So I like to liken that to the concept that we talked about earlier in the training of integrated flexibility. Because in most yoga places these days, the idea of flexibility is so important. And you get really reinforced culturally in a class for expressing more of it. But what happens to many of you in this training who are already mobile? What happens if you pull away from your extreme? You might get somebody saying, "Can't you be a little happier in that pose?" Which really is quite a thing to say. So I'm interested in, what will your practice look like 15 years from now? Integrated, that's an ED, flexibility. And there are three things that become integrated. You have mobility, strength. So think of crow pose. You could potentially get into crow if you had very open hips, but then if you couldn't stay there easily, if that was difficult for you, you wouldn't be able to sustain the pose. The strength would not be there, married to the mobility or flexibility. And then you need stability. Stability speaks a lot to joints. So we worked yesterday, Lisa, with your elbow rotation. Can you just show that on your hands and knees one more time? Because I really liked how Lisa was actually doing this. So you can see that Lisa's elbows here, and many of us have this, can really rotate far forward. See how the hands are pointing forward, but this is the inner head of the elbow. You probably have this as well. And so if she's weight loading that way in plank or going down into chaturanga continually, she's actually bringing more weight onto this over-rotation of the elbow joint. And eventually we get arthritis in the elbow joints. Anyone experienced a grinding in the elbow joints? That's what that feels like. So here's what to do about that. She takes them and draws them in just a little, not quite so much. So she can move them. Watch how fast that is. Try that again. And then really whip them in. So she can, that's a huge range of motion. So the other thing with people that are hypermobile is that we don't want them to overcorrect because they can easily do that. So we actually have them go slowly and then stop there. Yep. I could even have her micro bend. But so in our class, we really pay attention to that so that people don't overuse a joint. So go ahead. Thank you.
A question I have about that, for me, I have similar situations in almost all of my joints, and there's a lot of alignment issues that I have to deal with when I'm doing this type of yoga. And I've been using my joints in these sort of unhealthy ways for so long that I feel like a lot of times I don't have the muscle strength to use them in the correct way. So yesterday when we were doing the frog, and you corrected you brought my knee, or you brought my foot in. It was some minor little adjustment, but my thigh started to shake, and I had to come out of the pose because I couldn't, I didn't feel like I could stay.
No, so, that's wonderful though, because have you? It doesn't feel good in the way that your mental body is putting that into the story category of I can't do something, but. How many times have you experienced that in a yoga class before, that you can't do something that people are doing?
It's not often, because I can overcompensate in the areas that are overactivated, like you were talking about. My abs are not as strong as they need to be for many poses, but my back is crazy strong.
Yeah.
And I can do almost anything.
And flexible.
And flexible.
And you also have pain.
Yes.
Yes. So you actually, for you, if your mind can restructure the experience of having the leg shake, needing to come out early, what it could say is, oh my gosh, I just found a working edge where something is hard, but I'm going to be working toward integrated flexibility. I'm going to be stabilizing my joints. Because hypermobility can lead to arthritis, just the way tightness can. And what we want to do is be thinking ahead. Where will you be in 15 years? And ensuring that you have a practice that's easeful and joyful for the rest of your life.